Hello boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix here at the legendary Suzuka circuit. A real proper driving circuit here. It's the only figure of eight circuit that the F1 has ever been to, and we are racing here still since the late 80s. And it's still adored by the fans, the drivers, the everything. And we are in for a treat today, you could be assured. Especially if it goes the way that the Austrian Grand Prix went, with absolute carnage, with only 6 drivers finishing. There will be a change in the standing slightly, because we had clarification that 7th and 8th will score points, despite the fact that they didn't finish. But we have the matter of qualifying to get through, as Burti in the BAR is currently on pole position, Frentzen second in his third. De La Rosa has just gone up into third though to beat his Jaguar teammate in the Pedros. Ralf Schumacher up into 5th. Diniz has just jumped above Frentzen, and Frentzen cannot improve. Burti currently leading the field here at the Suzuka circuit in Japan. I don't even know where in Japan Suzuka is. Well, there's a few other circuits, and De La Rosa has just beaten Burti's time, and Burti cannot improve. De La Rosa on pole position. Ralf Schumacher up into 3rd place. He's above Diniz and has another lap to go. Ralf Schumacher could end up in pole position. He's done quite a bit of racing in Japan previously, has the German. Can he improve his lap time? No, he cannot. He will stay in 3rd place. So it looks like De La Rosa on pole, Burti 2nd, Schumacher 3rd, Diniz 4th, Frentzen 5th, Webber 6th, Raikkonen 7th, and Alesi is your top 8. Mazzacane 9th, Montoya 10th, Fisichella 11th, Hakkinen 12th, Michael Schumacher's in 13th, and the rest of the field will follow suit. We have Coulthard 14th, Alonso 15th, Hill 16th, Button 17th, Young 18th, Takagi 19th, and Barrichello 20th. As we look at the track for the Suzuka circuit, there is the crossover bridge between the tracks, both clockwise and anti-clockwise, obviously because it's a figure of 8 circuit, and there is the chicane, the Casio triangle, as we look down the pit straight, the famous Ferris wheel in Japan, well, Suzuka really, as we are underway. The cars accelerate, no hills to go up, but the drivers are going, and it looks like it's a fantastic start from Diniz. It looks like it's already jumped past the narrows, and it looks like lots of the right side to that Jaguar 1-2 at the moment. Berti looking towards the inside, Diniz cuts the door. Looks like a Sauber's up into 4th and Renault's up into 5th. Both arrows have had a terrible start. They're down in 6th and 7th already. De La Rosa leads. Diniz is in 2nd, Burti 3rd. Weber it is, has had a fantastic start. Lazy. Schumacher's in 6th, Frentzen 7th, Montoya 8th up 2 places. Hakkinen 9th, he's had a fantastic start as well. Raikkonen 10th, Mazzacane 11th, Coulthard 12th. Fisichella's in 13th, Hill 14th, Michael Schumacher 15th, Button's in 16th. Barrichello's had a good start as well. He's up into 17th. Alonso's 18th for the two Minardis. Takagi 19th, and Young has had such a terrible start. He's in 20th place. As they go to the left, right of the chicanes, the famous chicanes here in Suzuka, the left, right, almost Maggots and Beckett's like, but it goes uphill. This is Dunlop round the long left-hander, does not end down towards Degner 1 and 2. Very fast corner for the first left-hander, and then tight right. They're both rights, and there is the crossover towards the hairpin. A very tight hairpin corner. Plenty of overtaking near the fort will happen at this corner, and then it's a long straight again towards the Spoon corner. It's not really a straight, it's a constant curved radius towards Spoon. It's not really a straight apart from the pit lane, and this is the difficult Spoon corner. Difficult to get the judgment right on the corners, and then down, and there's quite a lot of straights on this track, but we're down this straight towards the very scary 130R, named because of the 130 radius. A little lift and pure speed there, and then towards Casio Triangle, the right, left corner. The pit lane is towards the inside of that corner, the very unique pit lane. And that is a lap of the Japanese circuit. 22 laps you can look forward to here as we go down towards turns 1 and 2. Raikkonen behind his Finnish compatriot going round turn 1. Mazzacane is in 11th place in the BAR. He's still probably annoyed about the fact he's given up his quicker car to Burti. Fisichella is in 13th. Pablo Montoya is stuck in gear. He is in 8th place currently, and he's going to more than likely be holding people up. Hakkinen is going to help the top 7 easily. Hakkinen putting pressure on Montoya through Degda 1 and 2. Hakkinen's pushed his way through. Raikkonen not so lucky. Very slow acceleration, and then he's going to reach the top speed. Is Raikkonen going to go down the inside of the Colombian round the hairpin? Yes, he is. Is Mazzacane going to make a move? He's not at the moment, but it's a pretty long straight, so surely Mazzacane will be able to make a move on him before we get to Spoon. Is Montoya going to hold him up? Yes, he is slightly. Montoya holding him up. He's lost already about 3 seconds behind Montoya. Look at the gap just increase dramatically. All the field have bunched up behind Montoya. 11th down, Mazzacane, Coulthard, that's Fisichella. Now they go past. Mazzacane's gone past Coulthard, Fisichella, Hill, Schumacher. Through 130 yards, a little lift. Button is about to go past. Montoya is diving into the left. We'll see how we can see how much time really that they lose going through the pit lane like that. There is the gap now. Raikkonen 9th is 10 seconds behind the leader. Hakkinen is already 4 seconds back, and then that is a huge gap. 7 seconds lost. Did the cars from Montoya. It's given a huge advantage to the top 7 really. As it looks like Dennis made a small mistake, but the uniqueness to this track is quite tight. There's not much margin for error. The walls are very close, not much runoff, and there's not much tarmac between the runoffs. Towards the hairpin for the 3rd time. Burti looking like he's going to cause Dennis a few problems. Not really many opportunities to overtake around this circuit, but the drivers love this circuit a lot. It's a proper driving circuit, as mentioned before. I don't think there's one driver that does not enjoy this circuit at all. It is, I think it's Toyota's playing ground. I'm pretty sure it's Toyota's playing ground. I think Honda's playing ground's Fuji. And it's the other way around. I don't remember. I think actually it's Honda that owns Suzuka. We go to the Casio Triangle. There is the Ferris wheel up front. They've got the roller coaster as well. It's the theme park over there, right next to the Suzuka circuit. As we go right towards the pit straight, there's not much pit straight here. And it said Toyota might put the fastest lap on the race. I don't believe a Toyota is up the front, so I don't remember Toyota ever being on the fastest lap. I would probably mistaken what's said, but I don't think I was mistaken what's said. The Arrows are losing quite a lot of time compared to the rest of these guys, which suggests that these lot are on a alternate strategy to the Arrows. The Arrows always likes, the Renault also likes splitting the strategy, but the Arrows like splitting their strategy as well. Usually to have Schumacher on the 1-stop, Frentzen on a 2-stop. I don't know if that's going to be the same today. Well, the previous couple of races, both the Arrows were on a 1-stop, I think, in the previous race. Coulthard loses a wheel and has smoke coming from the engine. Where's that then? Coulthard losing a wheel. There's a bit of a Hacken is actually catching up. Coulthard Mazzacane, Fisichella all close to each other, going towards the chicanes. It's up Dunlop. Coulthard goes slightly wide, and it is Fisichella that he has hit. And Fisichella is also out of the race. Hopefully none of the other cars. That's a wheel flying off to the side of the road. Not sure where that was coming from. So Fisichella again out of a race. Fisichella's having such poor luck. He was leading the championship. No, he's never been leading the championship, but he's been doing rather well this season. I believe he's the only driver, he's one of the only drivers to win 2 races, unless it was a laser that's won 2 races. He's definitely won at least 1 race as Fisichella. I believe he's won 2 though. Ralf Schumacher is the only other driver that has won, but he's not really done much else other than win them races. And unless the Jaguars stop them, it's going to put more emphasis on BAR's and Burti's lead as they go past the support race. Look at the gap. Montoya has put such a gap. Dylan Rosa with the fastest lap of the race, so it's no longer this random Toyota bloke. Frentzen 7th. Looks like he's about to pass Ralf Schumacher. Did Ralf Schumacher let him pass? I don't really know. That looked like it was a very easy pass though. Webber, Burti, Diniz has let De La Rosa get such a lead. Where's that come from? De La Rosa has a 4-second lead over Pedro Diniz. Looks like the light fuel loads are definitely a lot more quicker than the heavy fuel loads at the moment. You'd have thought that because of the nature of the circuit. Such many medium to high speed corners. And many corners as well anyway. There's not really much straightage as we go towards the hairpin. All the cars concertinaing amongst each other. The Jaguar holding up these lots. Young also loses a wheel. That's nearer the back. Well, Young was at the back, so I don't know if he's had a oh no, he's not. That is Alonso and Barrichello. Oh, Young has lost it. That is turn 5. He's lost it, and Young is out of the race. He's lost it all by himself, and he's out as the wheel slowly trickles down. There's Coulthard, Fisichella. Look at Renault ready in the pits. But De La Rosa is streaking away still. 5 seconds of the lead. Burti's in 3rd. Webber 4th. Alesi 5th and about to go into the pits by the looks of things. Alesi's going to pull off to the right there. Not going to negotiate this Casio triangle. And Diniz has been spun. Diniz has been spun. That's at the Casio triangle. Burti has spun the car of Diniz. De La Rosa with the fastest lap. De La Rosa now has a 5.6 second lead. And that is a little bit cheeky. Lonzo stuck in 3rd gear, but he's pretty much at the end of the track anyway. Toyota ready in the pits. So both Toyota guys going to be out. Alesi heading out at the pits. He's going to be passed by Mazzacane. I don't know how the other cars there is. The answer is they're quite far behind. So it's Mazzacane, the only guy. He lost ground to Mazzacane 9th. So Alesi is in 10th place. They have not moved that. Minardi is pretty much out of the way, to be honest. Ralf Schumacher putting pressure on Frentzen still. That's the battle for now 5th and 6th between the two Arrows teammates. 1-2 finish they got in Spain. And then they had I wouldn't say a poor Austrian Grand Prix, just a very unlucky Austrian Grand Prix. Frentzen getting into a scupper with Mazzacane, and then Ralf Schumacher being involved in a 3-way accident between him, Fisichella and Webber. De La Rosa was also in an accident. He was in an accident involving Fisichella. It was a lazy then. Fisichella and De La Rosa crashing on the second corner of the first lap. No such trouble here because they were far away from each other. Fisichella's already out of the race, so De La Rosa's not going to be too much trouble as to come towards the first turn. De La Rosa with another fast lap of the race. 1:43.4 for the Spaniard. slightly slower than qualifying, but that's to be expected. Tyres lasting quite a while, these grooved these are the Michelin tyres on the Jaguar. Burti also uses Michelin tyres, but pretty much all the tyres are the same anyway, not too much difference. The materials that they use are a little bit different depending on what car you go to, but there's too much, they could change every race pretty much, so there's no point advertising what they are. Both arrows are still 5th and 6th, sporting the Japanese flag on the front of their car like every other race. Hakkinen 7th in the McLaren. He's got a sizable lead over Raikkonen and the Sauber, both Finns. And then Mazzacane is another 7 seconds back with a lazy intent, but he's been caught rapidly by Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari. He managed to get a podium in the last race. Hill 12th. Schumacher went slightly wide. Button 13th in the Jordan. He's quite far back. Barrichello's just trundling around like always. Takagi being held up by Barrichello as De La Rosa goes over 130R and he is going into the pits. So De La Rosa is the first to blink of the front, well, the second to blink out of the front runners. Alazi has already pitted, but he's going to be De La Rosa pitting. It is slightly quicker going through the pit lane in this track than it is through most other tracks. Burti also going into the pits. It's going to give the lead to Mark Webber. Diniz is going to go through. So are both the arrows. The Jaguar off of his jacks. The fuel's still going in and the Jaguar is out of its pits. The BAR still putting fuel put in. The fuel is out and away goes Burti. He's going to be ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. The answer is yes, he is. So that's 7th place for Burti, 6th place for De La Rosa, who's managed to get out of. But now it's crucial that the front runners are now going to get some sort of gap now, because so Hakkinen is 8 seconds behind the 2 arrows. 2 arrows running 3rd and 4th. Diniz is directly in front of them, and then you've got Webber trundling along in the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. Through the long right hand, it does not stop. And then difficult braking for Spoon. The first spoon is relatively easy. It's the second spoon that's really awkward, because you're braking and turning at the same time, and then you have to, whatever time you lose all the way down this straight. You're pretty much on full throttle for about 10 seconds, 9 to 10 seconds, and then a little lift and get down a gear for the Sauber. 2 cars going into the pits. Webber going into the pits now. I don't think that was one of the arrows as well going into the pits. It will be Frenson going into the pits. Diniz has carried on for another lap. Diniz goes into the lead. So Schumacher is second, and Schumacher has a problem with his engine. It looks like he has retired from the race. Webber out of the pits, and there is Schumacher. That was the exit of Spoon, and he's out of the race. You can see from that position of the Ferrari how much downhill the pit lane is. Hakkinen's coming out. Frenson is already out. He's in 7th place. He's well ahead of Mazzacane, but behind Burti, Webber, De La Rosa, all of them are in front of the arrows. 3 seconds in front, in fact. Webber 5th for Sauber. 4th in front is Kimi Raikkonen, also in the Sauber. He is yet to make a pit stop. He looks like he's going to be one of the few drivers to make a 1 stop. De La Rosa is 5 seconds up the road, and he is a full 15 seconds behind Ralf Schumacher in the other arrows that has not made a pit stop. Diniz is directly in front of the arrows of Ralf Schumacher. Diniz leads currently for Jaguar. The Jaguar coming up strong in this is out the second half of the race, second half of the season. Diniz won the last race. He managed to stay out of the trouble. Jaguar are getting ready in the pits, and Ralf Schumacher is not going into the pits. So Ralf Schumacher will take the lead of the race Diniz will stay in the lead for now, but it's going to be Ralf Schumacher. While Diniz heavily brakes. Ralf Schumacher takes over the race lead. He looks like it might be one stopping again. Ralf Schumacher as well, the fastest lap of the race. And you can see the Arrows team are ready in the pit lane. De La Rosa has gone past. Diniz is still being refueled. He's being refueled quite heavily. Raikkonen's gone past now. Is Webber going to get past? The answer is no. Webber is not getting past. Burti is going past Webber though. This is going, and he's going to be scuppered by the Jaguar. That's really slow going around the first. They're still side by side. They're going to be side by side around turn 3. Yes, they are. There's a little bit of a touch, but the both cars are still there. Burti's gone slightly wide. Is Webber going to make the move? He's not. And it is Burti that holds on to what is now 5th place for the Brazilian. Bit of action there then between the Japanese BAR and the Swiss Sauber. And obviously no Swiss Grand Prix because, you know, little bit of rules. They're going towards the hairpin. They've come out of Degner 1 and 2. They're going towards the hairpin. Oh, hello. So Webber looked like he didn't bother changing down from 4th gear. He went straight down to 1st there. Thought that was a bit of a problem for Sauber, and he was about to clear straight into the BAR. So Schumacher has an 18-second lead, and he's going into the pits now, lap 10. It's going to be interesting to see how much fuel is put into this Arrows. He's going to slow down to 80 kilometers an hour. Schumacher in the pits. Now, how much fuel is going to be put into this car? Usually they put Ralf Schumacher on a 1-stop, so it wouldn't surprise me if the Arrows is put onto a 1-stop. De La Rosa is about to go past the pit straight now. Fuel still going in. He is being put onto a 1-stop. Mazzacane loses his rear wing. And look at that. Ralf Schumacher is going to be in front of Pedro Diniz, or is he? We're about to go around turn 1. Diniz is... Oh, Mazzacane. There is Frentzen. So them two are going to come up against each other. This is around 30. And they are... And Mazzacane slid into the wall. Mazzacane. So that is payback there. Frentzen gets Mazzacane, because it was Mazzacane that took Frentzen half out at Austria. They got into each other again in Japan. A little bit of a rivalry between them two, and Mazzacane has come off worse there. Mazzacane out of the Japanese Grand Prix. Frentzen still in. Alesi's in 8th. Frentzen 7th in the Arrows. Again, he's lucky to be still in the race, to be honest. And Burti has just took a slice out of Mark Webber there. Diniz is trying to pass Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher now becomes the blockade. Raikkonen is in 2nd place. He has yet to make a pit stop, however. And look at that. I'd say Schumacher's so slow, but he's so slow because he's on a 1-stop. Looks like it might actually help his teammates catch these up if he doesn't get overtaken. We're about to go around Spoon now. Burti goes quite wide again. Burti out of trouble compared for the two. If we compare the two BARs, there is the other. We just saw the other Arrows in shot though. Diniz looking towards the right. This is going to be very brave to pass around 130R. We saw it with Mazzacane if it was how brave it was, and it didn't pull off. Heavy braking towards the Casio triangle. They're all lying astern. Webber putting pressure on Burti, I think I just saw there. And accelerating down the pit straight. Ralf Schumacher 3rd place still. He is currently set for 6 points at the moment. He's got 10 seconds is the gap between Ralf Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen still out there, still yet to make a pit stop. That is why he is so quick. He's only 3 seconds behind Pedro De La Rosa in the Jaguar. De La Rosa leads the Japanese Grand Prix, going through Degner 1 and 2 now. under the pit straight under the track. Raikkonen quite quick at the moment. Obviously he's very light, he's not made a pit stop yet. And Diniz very, very bravely tried passing him on the inside of Degner 1. And you can physically see how much Frentzen has caught up. Burti's gone down the inside of Diniz at the hairpin, and he's going to make the move stick, is he? Yes! And they are championship rivals, remember, them two. First and second in the standings. Ralf Schumacher is putting a little bit of spice into this race. There's Matsukane's BAR. Raikkonen right into the pits. He is going to make his one and only pit stop. I wonder where this is going to put him. It might put him in a fantastic position here for Kimi Raikkonen. I think he's going to be behind most of the cars though. De La Rosa into the pits. Ralf Schumacher still in second. Diniz loses a wheel. That is very interesting. Diniz loses a wheel. Where has he lost the wheel? Ralf Schumacher's going past. Frentzen that was. Burti out. The top two are out. What has happened? The top two out. Something has happened between the two cars. It looks like Webber's gone down the inside of Frentzen. Or Frentzen going down. This is what's happened. Burti. Oh, he looked like he's trying to pass Ralf Schumacher. Here comes Diniz towards Burti, and there it goes. Webber hitting as well. Friends, there's a bit of a blockade here. That's going to help quite a few of the cars being pushed out of the way. Is Diniz. And he's now just reversing down. And that is both the first and second place driver out of the race. And he created a bit of a blockade there. So what's happened to all that then? So Raikkonen's in much stronger position now. A lazy Webber. Ralf Schumacher is a bit more safer now. So there's Webber. There's Frentzen in third place. Ralf Schumacher's now got a 6-second advantage over his Arrows teammate. Webber putting pressure. De La Rosa has a 20-second lead over Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher has caused quite a lot of problems. I can't wait for the Arrows boss to get into quite a few confrontations between the managers you did fought. So Montoya, Fisichella, Coulthard, Young, Alonso, Schumacher, Matsukane, Burti, Diniz, all out of the race. There's 11 cars left on the track. This is just as crazy as the Austrian Grand Prix. Takagi looked like he's about to go down the inside of Barrichello, who's in 9th place at the moment and looking nearly set for one more championship point, something he's not achieved so far this season. Jordan ready in the pits. There's Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen is in 7th, but he's 4 seconds behind Häkkinen. Raikkonen's in a fantastic position to get the third. Häkkinen 6th in McLaren. And there's a bit of a train there for Frentzen, Webber, Lazy. All of these still have a pit stop to make. Ferrari, Minardi ready to go. There's Barrichello and Takagi both going into the pits at the same time. You saw how close they were to the track quite a few seconds ago. Frentzen 3rd, Webber 4th, Lazy's in 5th. Through Dunlop. Round. This is a lot. This is 10-7's long. 8 to 9. Degner 1, Degner 2. It's already half the corners. Quickly towards the underpass now. All three of them still very close. All very close now because of the incident between Burti and Diniz. It's back-to-back races that Burti is retired from. Back-to-back races where, I'm going to say it, the championship has taken a turn for the better for the crowd, really, because otherwise it'd be quite the boring season if all the cars were very close to each other. Well, very far apart from each other, sorry. But we shall continue racing here. Actually, the top 3 in the championship are all out. I've just got the standings here. The top 3 are all out. Frentzen on 35, a lazy 29. So Frenzen's going to be a main beneficiary of this at the moment. Dennis has a 25-second lead, but Dennis still has... De La Rosa has a 26-second lead, but has still got to make a pit stop. De La Rosa is going to have such huge points haul to this race. He's going to probably get maximum 10 points. Frentzen, not too sure where he's going to appear. I believe he's pitting before these 2 cars. Well, actually, no, Lazy was one of the first to pit out of these lots, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen there. But at the moment, Frenzen's looking set to be 2nd in the championship. Schumacher might get at least 8 points. He's going to go up into 34. He's only going to... He might not even gain a position, but it's going to become very, very close. And it's going to, again, propel Arrows into championship recognition. They're already only 16 points away from BAR. They're 5 points behind Renault. They might even overtake Renault in this race. And Jaguar's going to get a huge haul as well. Jaguar only 8 points behind Arrows. This championship might soon become interesting for the spectator. De La Rosa is on 14 points. He's probably probably about to come to 24. Renault ready in the pits. It's going to be for Jean Alesi. Webber looked like he was going down the inside of Frentzen, mounting the curb to avoid the collision. They are only 2 seconds behind Ralf Schumacher at the moment. We've got 7 laps to go after this lap. As it all goes quiet now, as Alesi puts fresh tyres on. De La Rosa is about to make a pit stop as well. There's a 25-second lead between Raikkonen and Button for Alesi to get back. And he's out of the pits. We're going to go crazy again. Now Raikkonen in 6th, Raikkonen in 5th. Webber still putting pressure on Frentzen in the Arrows. Towards Degner 1 and 2. Ralf Schumacher in 2nd. De La Rosa has a 28-second lead. Surely that is enough. However, he's coming up to behind Rubens Barrichello, the back marker, towards 130R. Barrichello just blocking the Spaniard left, right and centre, is letting Schumacher catch up a little bit as De La Rosa goes into the pits. This is for his 2nd and final stop. De La Rosa has done all he needs to do. Is it going to be enough? The Sauber also ready to go into the pits. That will be for Mark Webber. Sauber ready in the pits. It's a change of autos. Hakkinen also pitting as well. It looks like De La Rosa is going to have plenty. There goes De La Rosa already. And away he goes. There is Webber. There is the 2 Arrows. And it looks like Frentzen has been let through by Schumacher. That is very key for the inter-team. That's not even inter-team battle. That's very good for the teammates, especially for Frentzen, because now Frenzen's not going to get held up by Schumacher. That is very clever team play by the 2 Arrows. Raikkonen has a 3-second advantage over his teammate. Schumacher in 3rd. Frentzen 2nd. He can now put the hammer down. He's no longer going to be held up by his teammate. De La Rosa 5 seconds in front. Frentzen is now battling against Raikkonen for what will be, I think, 3rd place. But De La Rosa's made all of his pit stops. He's currently got a 5 second lead pretty much over Frentzen. And it looks set to win his first race of the season. Or second, I think. I don't know how many races De La Rosa's won. I think he hasn't even won a race this season. In fact, I'm pretty sure last race was their first win of the season. Who won Italy? I don't know. I don't know who won Italy. Some news to you and news to me. It was Burti that won Italy. Burti won at Italy. So yeah, last race was Jaguar's first win, and it always scares me when I hear the gear changings of their cars because it sounds like they're about to spear into the wall. But Barrichello's trudging along in last place on the road. Not really anywhere near anywhere. Diniz, Burti, Mazzacane. Both BARs are actually out of the race. That's not good news for them, but in terms of the championship, it's great news for everyone else. Because they're going to be caught a lot. They're going to have 2 extra points now because of Burti being given the 2 points, and they're actually on 79 points. But at the moment, Arrows is going to score 14 points, which will put them on 75 points. They'll be 4 points behind BAR, and Renault are going to be very substantially closer as well. They're probably going to be on 71 points or 17 points. So they're going to be less than 10 points away. We're going to have a title fight! Yay! If Frentzen comes here home in third, he's going to be on 41 points. He's going to be in second place. But he's still going to be 16 points behind Burti, which is quite a substantial gap as he goes into the pits. There you saw a gap there. 22 seconds is the gap between Frentzen and Raikkonen. But it looks like De La Rosa and Schumacher have just dominated this race. Alternate strategies between the two drivers. And it looks like... Actually, we don't know yet because Raikkonen is catching quite quickly. Not much fuel has to be put into the Arrows. And they haven't got that far to go in the pit lane. And Frentzen is going to be in third place. So currently it's Arrows 2 and 3. Raikkonen makes it a 4-5 for Sauber. Lazy is going to be in 6th place, I believe. 7th place Hakkinen. 8th place is one of the Jordans. Raikkonen 4th. Webber 5th. But Raikkonen now has a target in his sights. Lap 19, he's got 4 laps. Webber is in 5th, Hakkinen 6th. So Lazy is actually down in 7th place, but he's actually very close to Mika Hakkinen. So that's probably the closest fight apart from the two Jordans. Button is in 8th place, 25 seconds behind, but crucially holding on to 1 point at the moment. Through Dunlop for the 19th time. Got 3 laps to go after this. Degner 1, Degner 2. There's Button 8th for Jordan. Behind him, Damon Hill. Lazy. We're back on board with, is he going to send one down the inside of Hakkinen? He thinks about it. He sent one down the inside. Is he going to make the move stick? There's a lot of wheel banging and Hakkinen is going to keep hold of 6th place for the time being. Look, that would have been brave going down the inside. He's going down the inside of Spoon. Is not an overtaking spot. Spoon isn't. Lazy's visibly quicker than Mika Hakkinen at the moment. And now going through the long straight towards 130. Oh, Lazy has a slight advantage over Mika Hakkinen straight line speed wise. It's going to be a very brave move to send one down the inside at 130R. And I think that's going to be it for the battle for now because they're too far apart going into the final chicane. Very tight chicane. And it's hard to put the hammer down in these cars to get to the final corner. Webber 5th, Raikkonen fourth, losing a little bit of time to Frentzen. So Frentzen looks set to be third. 21 seconds is the gap between Schumacher and Frentzen. But out in front and being caught quite substantially because that was Barrichello holding up De La Rosa. Barrichello, the back marker, holding up the Jaguar, and Schumacher is going to catch the Ferrari. Is he going to catch him down this straight or the pit straight? I'm not too sure, to be honest. He might even catch him going towards 130R. No, I think it's too far away. I think that's about a 1 second lead. I don't think Schumacher's going to catch him until the pit straight. So Schumacher's going to get away with this towards Casio Triangle. It may even be the pit straight. Oh, it's definitely going to be the pit straight. Look how much he's closed in at the hairpin. Barrichello's so slow this season. The car's just not made for him at all. In fact, it's not even going to be at the pit straight. It's a bit still too far behind. The blue flags aren't waving for him. We're going towards turns 1 and 2. And then heavy braking. Surely Barrichello will move over now before the chicanes. And he has not moved over. Barrichello is not moving over. He's holding up Ralf Schumacher. This might be it for Ralf Schumacher's charge on the lead. There's 1 lap to go after this. We're on the penultimate lap. Is Barrichello going to let him pass? Be brave to go around the outside. Barrichello still not giving up the place. They need to do something about the blue flags. It's getting ridiculous. There we are. Ralf Schumacher's put matters into his own hands and pushed Barrichello off. And everything is secured now. I don't think there's another battle. There's still a battle between Hacken and Alesi for what is 6th place. This is for 3 championship points now. It'd be very, very crucial for the McLaren team to get these 3 championship points. Equally as vital for the Renault team to get these 3 championship points for their title fight, the constructors. McLaren just hoping to be pretty much best of the rest at this point. Probably they're aiming for like 5th. The top 4 quite substantially away now of BARO's Renault and Jaguar. But we're probably approaching the final lap now, if not already on the final lap, because the leads that everyone has. Yeah, De La Rosa has started his final lap. He's led virtually the entire race apart from when he's pitted. De La Rosa is the only driver to win every single season, and he's been consistently on top. He's had a very difficult season so far, and he's coming up to one of the back markers again. It's going to be very interesting final couple of turns then. Which one of the back markers is that? That is Takagi. Japanese hero Toranosuke Takagi. The only Japanese driver in the field. Sato, also Japanese driver, he was dropped for Takagi. And Pedro De La Rosa is coming up towards the back of him to lap him. But where is he going to lap him? Coming up towards Spoon. He's going to be directly behind the Minardi. He pretty much is. Is the Minardi going to let him pass going down the straight? The answer is yes, he is. Very good boy there, Takagi. So no drama for Pedro De La Rosa coming towards 130R. The Minardi has let him pass. Meaning that for the first time this season, he will come through the final chicane, the Casio Triangle. Put the hammer down towards the final corner. And he's going to celebrate with the team as Pedro De La Rosa wins the Japanese Grand Prix. It's back-to-back wins for the Jaguar team. Second place, Ralf Schumacher in the arrows. And third place will be the other arrows of Heinz-Harald Frentzen, claiming their mark on the championship fight for the constructors It's going to be super tight for the Constructors' Championship. Alazy making one last ditch attempt to pass Hakkinen. Bit of contact between the two cars. And Hakkinen will get away to finish in 6th place. Raikkonen finishes in 4th, Webber 5th. Worth noting, there we go. As round the hairpin goes De La Rosa on his slow dab lap towards the pit lane. So we've already touched upon the standings, so I won't touch upon them again. Except worth noting, there is 6 races left to go. We go over to Malaysia now for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Then we go over to Australia for the final race outside of Europe before going back to Europe for the final European leg. We start off things in Germany for the Hockenheimring GP race. Then we go to Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. Then we go back to France for the Manicourt Sprint race. And then the season finale, where we hopefully have a championship decider between the teams and drivers at the very eventful Hockenheimring Oval for 26 laps of action. We look now at the final classification. Pedro De La Rosa wins. 39 seconds was the final time. Only 3 outside accident retirements. 2 caused by the gearboxes of both Toyotas and the engine of Michael Schumacher letting go. All the rest are accidents. De La Rosa played a strategy to perfection. Ralf Schumacher also played a worldie of perfection. Frentzen survived a few accidents. Raikkonen, Forfey took advantage of accidents. Webber looked strong all race. Hakkinen, impressive 6th place for Hakkinen. Alazy just couldn't get going. He finishes in 7th, and Button taking advantage to finish in 8th place. Hill misses out on points. So does Takagi, and Barrichello is still at the bottom of the table. And we see the list of retirements now. Only 11 cars finished the race. Unlike Austria, where 6 cars finished the race, more people finished. Hurrah! Less of a bill to pay. So, as we look at the final few people, Ralf Schumacher also fastest up of the race, I believe. So, 2 podiums are the fastest lap for the Arrows. I'd like to say thank you very much for watching the Japanese Grand Prix. Hope you enjoyed it. There's Ralf Schumacher's confirmation. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in Malaysia. Goodbye!